Hey there, beloved Ascension Pioneers. I'm back with you again today on a lovely video day, I felt. And I will be speaking about the new beginnings, the new dawn for Ascension Pioneers. I have been receiving even oracle messages about this. And when I've been sharing my own experiences, people have been sharing with me as well what they're going through, what their personal life is like, and what's changing for them now. So what changed for me this week? I've been talking about moving all along, and it wasn't really official. It was, it's a process. It's not like when you're renting a place, you're actually selling and buying, and it's a chain. It was a chain, we need to sell at one end and buy at the other one, and all needs to go through at the exact same timing period. So it's a very challenging thing that needs to deal with a lot of synchronicity, and what is meant to be is just meant to be, and what is not is just not. So this Wednesday, this week, we finally signed both contracts. And this was a huge step. So officially, yay, I am moving, and it will be towards the second part of the August, so in the middle of the second part of August. And I have been watching some video updates about the month of August and its numerology today, and it's been dealing with a lot of change. And yesterday I received this oracle book. I thought it was going to be cards and oracle book. Actually, it was just a book, but it was about flowers. Because I'm so much into nature, and I wanted to know more about this and what certain flowers mean. So the book came. I was actually very surprised because there was no cards, but at the same time I said, well, there's images of the cards inside as well. So I was guided to, meant to get that book. And I saw, first I was drawn to the sunflower, and the sunflower is now blossoming, and it's now getting ready to activate the seeds, and at the end of the summer it bows down to earth. You kind of say, yes, I'm bearing my fruits now to earth. And we're in this process now, with the sunflower. What I read about it was it actually represents kind of like transformation cycles and additional strength, especially for those who are dealing with Saturn cycles. And this was totally me this year. I had my Saturn return when I was 29 last year, and this September I'm going to be 30, and this was a Saturn return cycle, which is very intense. Oops. So I had a lot of initiations and a lot of activations and grounding and changing my life completely, and that's why I'm physically moving towards the peak of the Saturn experience. So when I went for my meditative and sun gazing walk towards yesterday's afternoon and evening, I was again guided to see sunflower, and there was this gardens that they have there, and I was watching them. And then when we were returning at home, another sets of gardens or something, they placed just one sunflower, and I said, oh, last time I went for a run I saw that sunflower too, and it was totally new. They didn't have it before. It was just roses. So they planted it completely new, and I was just guided to count its flowers, how many does it have, and I saw 5. So 5 is the number of change, and it was a huge confirmation. So when I was watching this astrological video and numerology, sorry, tongue-tied, too much happening. I'm really hyper these days. You gotta understand, when you're moving, it's how it is. So it was a lot dealing with our personal changes and a lot of unexpected things occurring in our new decisions and choices. And moving, personally, I keep receiving, this new light, movement, everything moving. So if we have been feeling that it was a bit of period to pause, and there was this halt, we were actually doing so much, and we felt, there's no physical actual results yet. And this was how it was for me for the entire period of my movement. My physical relocation, which is very interesting. When I've noticed the cycle, it's because, in astrology, which is kind of like our star map for here on Earth, as above, so below. And of course, it's up to us how we go through it, because we have free will. So we either go with it through divine alignments and activations, or we kind of resist it. That's the only difference there is. But there's always star mapping that we have planned for ourselves on a soul level and beyond, as a collective and as all that is. All encompassing, all experiences in one. So the thing is, I was observing this, and I saw that in the new moon that was in Aquarius, it was in February, I think it was 10th of February, we started to sell the apartment, and we have our first viewing. And then there was this full moon Aquarius, this month in 22nd of July, I think. And finally we had those buyers who said, yes, we're going to take the place. And the last full moon is going to be again in Aquarius, is going to be at the end, so the 20th of August, which is when I will be moving, sometime like that. And I said, wow, this is so interesting how it's all about cycles. And Aquarius is about personal freedom and freeing ourselves. So very interesting. When you observe your cycles with lots of awareness, you will see how it's all meant to fall into place in its own time. So what I want to say about this new dawn for Ascension Pioneers, because when I've been sharing my own experiences, a lot of people have been saying, I'm moving too, I'm relocating too, or they were just guided to move. And a lot of people are starting their lives like completely over, brand new. This is what this summer was about. Remember back in the spring, I kept saying to you that I kept hearing the word summer, 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 and I wasn't actually aware of what this is referring to. And there's a lot of levels that this actually refers to. And there's, again, like I said, the element of surprise involved in this as well. And back then, I didn't even know we were going to have so many of alignments, and the Star of David as well, the diamond alignment with its peak just at the end of July, and so many alignments again in August, for a personal establishment of something really new and all these changes that we have been working for so long. There's these steps that we sometimes do and we don't understand why they don't unfold right away, because it's all a process, and every input and every devotion of energy has its result. In the universe, there is no waste of energy. We just don't always see it, through the human perspective, and because we don't see the results, the direct consequences right away, or as you say, instant karma. For instance, I give to someone and they instantly repay me with money or fruits or vegetables or something, something physical. We don't see it like that because it's building up, and it's sometimes coming as, with a bit of the lag. And it's just how it is, in this earthly experience, it's still how it is. It's getting more and more instant, but at the same time, we have to understand why creation on this level is as such when we go through these experiences, okay, guys? So why I felt, even last week when I was hiking, that I'm going to talk about this new dawn, because it feels really fresh. It feels like something really fresh. And even yesterday when I was guided to do the Ascension message for all of us guys, was something new, and working with very subtle levels of creation, so with color, tone, sound, and then working with those refined levels and actually bringing them to a very physical, dense reality. So because it's the physical reality we're actually changing. I keep saying that. And this is what's happening now with all these colors and all of these higher light that is now becoming embodied, that is now actually getting very physical. Because just this summer I was asking myself, why is there so many ascension guides and so many people feeling guided to just withdraw, to just leave all, this stage of ascension and sharing with everybody and guiding everybody into ascension? Why do they leave for a while to just be with themselves? And why do I have to deal with so many of the physical stuff, like moving, dealing with people, contracts, government, system, taxes, very much legal, dense. There's so many things. I'll give you one example. We sell an apartment for a certain price, and then our agent tells us today that the tax agency is actually gonna calculate the tax according to their estimated value of the place. So we're actually gonna pay more, even though we're not gonna sell by this price. But we don't even care. It's like, just go. Just go to our fairyland place, in the magic underneath the mountains. And it's just, there's a lot of dense experiences here. But like I said, I choose to go through them with grace. This is what this new dawn means. It's like our experience of the things in our reality is always based on our inner integrated self, not on the external anymore. So we can complain, oh, the tax agencies like this, the advertising agents, the real estate agents, all of this, the people that actually bought our place are complicating like hell. And they're not very pleasant, they're draining energy. They're very much energetic vampires. And we sometimes track these people because they need this experience, they need this light. They're so fearful of buying the place that actually, they live in this this mental prison that they built around themselves. And I'm observing this and I'm saying, well, that's what they need, this experience. And this new dawn for us means that whatever is happening in the physical surroundings, we go through it with ease and grace and effortlessly. That doesn't mean there won't be challenges. There were huge challenges for me. And there's many situations that just literally fall from the sky, and I have to deal with them at a very physical level. And I have to use all of my inner resources, all of them. But let me tell you guys, it is all worth it, because the new place I'm moving to, even if I have no furniture or anything left there, it will be, in my nature paradise. It will be where my energy is aligned with that place. I've worked the steps, I made the steps, and even if I maybe live there just for 1 month or 3 months, I don't know what's going to happen next. This is our very valuable lesson we're learning right now. This is, I feel, only a transition stage for me, even that. So we cannot be attached anymore to saying, I've put so much energy in that, but look, so I can't leave this when something, change knocks on your door again, because this is an ongoing journey. We're expanding so fast right now that who knows where I'm going to be living just a few months after that, or next year, or, things are changing so fast. And that's why I'm saying New Dawn for Ascension Pioneers is dealing with the fact that we become freed human beings, totally, completely free of not knowing. The person who bought the place for us said, well, I hope we're going to be living here forever. And I'm like looking at her and saying, gosh, sweetie, life has a way of surprising you. It is not how you imagine it, like this, And there's people who live in this false security system and believes that it's just not working anymore. And these people are going to have a very hard time dealing with changes that are going to come upon our planet, that are already here actually, but they're just going to intensify. So for us, this new dawn means that not it's something going to happen externally, but our internal self is getting so strong and empowered that we can actually go through everything with ease and grace, effortlessly. For example, sometimes things happen that you haven't even expected they're going to happen this way, but they're a blessing in disguise. And something isn't working because it's just not meant to work. And then it happens in another way that is even better. And we got to learn to trust. It's time. We have no more excuses not to trust. It's just sometimes, I've been dealing with that too, dealing with money and calculating money, and it's gonna come out right, you're gonna lose money, are you gonna get through the month, are you not, or, it's very challenging. For us, this was very challenging, and me, I work only on donations, and now it's summer, and it shows, and people are not around so much, and I haven't been receiving so much, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, been giving much, I haven't been receiving, but let's just wait, let's just hold, because in a sense, I still trust that it's how it's meant to be. It's going to work out, maybe even better than I think. Even better than my mind calculates it. So, we still have the mind element. It's not bad. It provides a certain amount of security that we need, where we still function on a certain amount of this density. That's all that the mind serves for. And it's important because a lot of times, certain people plug only their hearts. And they're very heartfelt people, but their intellect is neglected. And that's not well. And I've been talking about this with my mom a lot too. I said, use your mind more. Because there's this sense of balancing the two out without ever saying that one is more needed. The integration is now taking place. We know this. Divine feminine, divine masculine, the mind and the heart. And this becomes, the higher heart, the higher mind, the higher intellect, understanding, through higher wisdom. Not through this monkey mind that has been chasing us for so long because we've allowed it to. About this money thing, I also wanted to add that this trust. I've been seeing some examples when people who call themselves light workers and say they have a certain mission to do, many times they have these sets of challenges, and then it feels like they say, oh, but all doors are closing, can you please help us now, we need this money, or we need donations. And I'm looking at these examples and I'm thinking, I could never do that. It's just, as for me, I never ask people for money, because when you ask, you actually believe in a state of lack. You can actually trust in your source that you're going to be provided, but you don't ask people. You ask your source. If you have to ask your source. Ask your higher self. Ask your soul to guide you in the direction of support. And if support isn't coming, then it means sometimes you've drained this set of resources, and maybe if the doors are closing, there's a new set of windows open somewhere else. And people I see, they're just still not observant enough. When my abundance is coming to a sort of amount of closing, I say, okay, I'm being observant, and I don't go into panic, and then I say, oh, people, please donate money to me, I'm in fear. No, I don't do that. I just say, I trust if I'm meant to receive it, it will be for that greater good. If not, it means I'll find sources elsewhere, because what we're learning now, actually just remembering, me, how I say it, we're actually remembering how to deal with our own inner power and how to create with our inner resources. Of course it's good to receive additional help if somebody offers you, but we do not ask it in pity or in thinking that we're in lack and that other people need to help us out. If I will be living from the experience that other people are my providers, I'm not going to be a very self-empowered individual, will I? Sometimes it's very challenging, it is, and I will give you straight from the heart, it is so challenging. It is the most challenging experience when you say, I just trust, I'm doing my purpose from my heart, I'm not asking in return, I'm just sharing freely, and if I get a donation, that's fine. If not, it will come. It will come some other way. And it's, you know, for people who are not asking, because the most mentality of the most is still not in the place that they believe in this energy exchange, that it always needs to be somehow balanced out. And if they don't feel it, that's fine. You won't try to convince them. You know, I've seen examples when people do things like, you know, I've been giving for so much, now I'm entitled to receiving back. It's like, ooh, that's ego energy. You know, ego believes it's entitled to, that it deserves, that it needs to get from people, from others. Source is your, you know, your only power of abundance, your only true source. So what's actually happening when something is showing you that the doors are closing, it means, ooh, you've ended a chapter here. Create through inner resources somewhere else. Don't fall into fear and desperation, into lack consciousness. We've done with that. We're really done with that. You know, check. Moving on. How are we going to create through our inner resources and believe that we're doing it from the heart? We're always going to be supported. And if you're not supported in a certain path, and you say it's very difficult, doors are closing, you know, people are being restrictive, then you're actually not aligned with your soul, because your soul would never create for you this experience. Your soul wants you to flourish and to be prosperous. So if this is not happening, it means you actually maybe are not at that time fully aligned. So you need to get back on the track. Also, what I wanted to add about this is just this dealing, you know, with things with full trust. Also, I wanted to add this. Lately, I've received a comment from a person saying, oh, you know, Polona, when are you going to be moving to the States, you know, to USA? It was a fellow Slovene person who actually has moved into a state, and they made an assumption according to their own experience, and my messages just that day before were coming in were, just because others have a certain experience, it doesn't mean you will have the same experience, because there's a lot of people fear-mongering still. Oh, are you moving? Are you going to be sorry? Oh my gosh, why are you doing this? Oh, how can you go from the city? You know, like, oh gosh, you know, that doesn't mean that's going to be my experience. So when the person asked me, you know, they said, oh, but Slovenia is not a place. It's such a restrictive country for souls like you who are shining so much. You know, States is so much more supportive, and you're going to be moving. And I'm reading those words and I'm thinking, people still don't look from the higher perspective. It's not the place. You see, self-empowerment is living not from a state that the place is the one who supports you. So I'm saying, oh, this country doesn't really support me. Who really supports me? Is it the country? Is it the other people? Is it the external resources? Is it the other people who's going to donate me money? Or is it myself creating through my consciousness and that being reflected right back at me? So wherever I live in the world, if I'm a master of myself, a master of my own experiences, I don't need to move to another country to be supported, right? So I'm thinking, and even though it is partially true on a lower perspective, you know, much less grander, you know, Slovenia does have certain sets of experiences that are more restrictive, and it's more challenging to go through the system here, to penetrate through it and to not be dependent on it. It's sometimes we have these laws that are very like tentacles, you know, and this will actually show you how to be even more empowered, how to find even more back doors. You know, I've received this card lately that, no, I've been looking at this card, that sometimes if you don't see straight, sometimes you gotta, you know, bow your head down and look through the back door. There's answers everywhere. There's never just such a thing as a straight line. You know, when we raise the awareness, we actually expand like 360 degrees view, and we see all, and from above and from below and from all. It's like a spherical consciousness, like a toroidal field of our personal vortex. So it's not the place that either supports you or not. When I'm moving, I'm not saying this city doesn't support me anymore. I could be living here forever and ever if I chose to. It's just that my purpose here has been served. But that doesn't mean, you know, this place doesn't support me. It's not the external resources that I'm working with. These are only what I'm aligning with, but it's my internal resources I'm working with. So those of us, beloved ones, who are entering the new dawn, we are working with our self-mastery. We're becoming more and more vigilant, and very much working with the sense of self-empowerment. And I gotta add this. We're entering the Syrian gateway, so the Lion's Gate. The 8th of 8th is actually the peak of this experience. And you know, Syria is the feline energy. Actually, if you look at the lion, it represents strength. But actually, you know how the lion is moving very gracefully? The lion is actually representing grace through power. So power through grace, you know, it's vice versa thing. And it gives us the opportunity to work even more on our self-empowerment. In my last session with the Divine Companion, via Skype, this was actually what was coming through, and the self-empowerment challenges, and our external reality will still reflect to us, or we still negate inside of us, or what we still don't wish to embrace. So a lot of times we feel, this is it, I'm doing all I can, and I'm trusting myself, I'm being fully myself. But if your reality is still unsupportive of you, it will show you, because it's all a mirror. Maybe there's still something there. Please take a look at it. Because if you don't work with yourself consciously, and if you say, oh no, it's about them, then you're still not a very much self-empowered individual. And you got to go deeper. Because what I'm noticing with people who allow the ego to prevail, the ego is not a bad thing. Again, I said sometimes the ego makes things that we need, creates the experiences that we need. So the ego is not to be judged or replaced or killed or denied or suppressed. The ego is meant to be merged with the soul. And I've said this many times, and there have numerous amounts of videos about this. But with the ego, when we allow it to prevail, that's when the ego gets bad, if I speak about it from the lower perspective. But that's when it gets, challenging, and it gets kind of unnatural. This is the most neutral word I can use. It gets unnatural, because our natural state is about balance. So when we allow the ego to get in the way, there's people who are saying, for example, not me, I don't have this, or I don't have karma, I'm this, or I'm that, but then their life keeps reflecting to them, deal with that. Another thing is about our bodies. Our bodies are giving us symptoms. Like recently when I've been running or walking down the hill, my right knee has been sort of feeling this weird pain, and I never had problems with my knees, and I knew that's not physical. So I was looking at Louise Hay's book with the energy references to certain body parts, and I've seen, the knee is about being more flexible and being more, I don't remember what was the word, but when you're more patient and things. So that was dealing with my situations, around the move, and I was still allowing myself sometimes to be stressed out by others and by the external, and not being patient enough with the things, and I don't remember the word. The word was really good. And with others who are maybe not sharing our own sense of flexibility and how we're fast, and how it was with me and my mom, there was a lot of adjustments, and sometimes I got very frustrated about this. So I was taking it too hard on myself, and then the knee, you're kind of pushing, so it gets in this restrictive mode, and there's this pressure build. So today I finally went for a run. Yesterday I was resting. I received a message from my body saying this body's tired now, it needs rest, and I'm like, okay, although I love running, I could do it every day, I could go hiking every day, I could fitness every day, but I received a message to just stop for a while, to just relax and take it easy. It's not just about the messages that we receive. We actually need to take action upon them then. We need to follow through our guidance. And today my knee was fine, and I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, because I was actually consciously working through what was the energetic thing behind it. So when we really self-empowered, everything in our surroundings, every experience, even the couple who bought our place, even them, they have a message for me, they have a trigger for me. So it's never about others, how they are. We can react, but I've noticed that the states of shifting between reacting and responding are getting very much tinier now. So there's no so much of this delay anymore. It's getting much more, how I've been saying lately is that I wish, it's not even a wish, it's happening automatically and naturally as I'm, shifting and raising my awareness and vibration. I just wish to be in a state that I don't even react at all. I just am. And I just see things, okay? Just literally going through them, just responding to life situations. That's when you become a real self-empowered and responsible being. And guys, kudos to all of you who are having these changes and who are brave and courageous enough to follow through them, because our guidance is not just to be, listened to, and when people say I'm meditating, it's not enough. Then you need to integrate your meditation into your daily life. We need to really be congruent with our soul lives right now and with our soul essences. What was another thing that was coming through lately about this soul congruence? I think I was guided to share something else about this. I was asking myself why my life has gotten, in a way, more physical than maybe it was just 2 years ago, when I was having these beautiful activations and higher self awakenings and connecting to my I am presence, and now it was getting very physical. And well, the spirit showed me that it's very simple. Now you're bringing your spirit in the physical, so sometimes it might feel in this transition state more dense. So of course, you know, before maybe I was dreaming about moving and envisioning, and it was all beautiful and hiking and all these things, and it felt wow, but the actual step wasn't created yet. Now, because you're doing the steps, you're diving deep into the very matter, you know, into the physicality, into all these things and errands and situations that you're actually transcending with your light. You're bringing your light there. And sometimes the mind will perceive it as, you know, I'm living more dense right now, but you're not. You're bringing the spirit into the density and you're creating something new. You're making alchemy. Watch my video about soul alchemy and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So if you're, you know, having the same questions about your life, why it has changed in this way, it's a good thing. It is a good thing. So no more comparison, because a lot of times what we have been doing is, I'm here in my life, but that person is there and they're unplugged and I'm doing all these things. So, you know, this comparison, it doesn't work anymore. You are doing your own sets of tasks and experiences that you're responsible for, that you have chosen on the soul level, and others can take care of themselves and they have their own. So comparison, it's over and done with as well. Check. I've talked this about so many times. So guys, I think this is it. And oh, one more thing. I want to say that because of this physical move and my relocation, there's going to be a lot of things, you know, moving physical things, finding transportation, finding people, getting rid of things here. We have to put out the entire kitchen. There's people coming and there's going to be a lot of things. And in between, I'm going to be taking all the time that I can to rest and rejuvenate myself. So it's going to be a constant juggle of the things in the physical. And that's why I won't be so much online probably. And when I'll move to the new place as well, I don't know how it's going to be with the internet. I'm just letting you know that if I'm not online, it is because I'm really in this period of focusing on physical relocation. And in August now, until I'm moving, I won't be actually having the time to reply to personal emails. So thank you for understanding this. If I will be able to, I will reply again back in September. But August now is I need to be devoted to this so I can really go through it. There's a lot of physical things and it can be very tiresome. So the time that I will have, I will use for myself. And I know you guys who live from the heart will understand. I will try to record as much videos that I can and post things, but personal messages take a lot of time too, and I won't be having time to reply. If you will be, you know, requesting my services, I will try to do that, but the personal messages, you know, just asking me stuff, I cannot do right now. I hope you understand. And have a blessed journey of your own personal change as well. I'll talk to you guys very soon, and stay radiant, stay healthy, beautiful, wise beings that you are. Live from love. Bye.